So after reading the article called The Future of Social Media at the Turn of the Century, written by The Drum, I think there's a lot of interesting topics that don't always get discussed when we're talking about social media and how we use social media. And one of the main things that I took away from this article was the regulation of social media and how in the future the regulation of social media might look really different and censorship might look different. And I think that in a lot of ways, regulating the media can be really beneficial, especially to the younger generation, because they deal with cyberbullying and harassment and depression and body issues and all these things that the article brought up. And me personally, growing up in an era that used social media, it really takes a toll on your mental health, and you kind of have to separate yourself from the people that you're seeing on social media. So in a lot of ways, I think censoring some of the content that gets put out on social media for unrealistic standards can be really beneficial to a lot of people. But on the other hand, we have to think about how involved we want the government to be in our social media censorship, and if we want this freedom of speech that Americans so desire on social media and every other aspect, we kind of have to apply that to social media as well and see how far we want to take censorship. And I think it was an interesting idea to use WeChat in China as an example for this, because China obviously is a very different system of government, and we all know that they have a lot of censorship going on in the content that they allow their citizens to see. So I think this blending of social medias that WeChat is an unrealistic expectation of what it would look like if we implemented that same thing in the United States. Another thing I found really interesting is that we have so latched on to TikTok, and this idea that the video is the one thing that is so desired to be seen is a really interesting idea, because I think our attention spans are getting shorter and shorter, and we don't want to watch things for more than 20-30 seconds, or else we'll lose attention, we won't care anymore. So TikTok has really grabbed people's attention and made people care about really short funny videos or really interesting videos. It kind of makes me wonder why Musical.ly didn't take off and why Quibi didn't really blow up the way we expected it to. And I think that may be due to COVID and the way it made people download social media apps more, and maybe TikTok just was the right place at the right time, but for whatever reason, we have been obsessed with TikTok and this idea of the short video. And I think for brands, that's a really interesting idea to now use TikTok as another outlet of social media to connect with specifically the younger generation, because that's who's really using TikTok, and get content out there that appeals to them in the short video fashion that we're seeing. So this article really just highlighted a lot of things that I've been really thinking of, but also kind of have some pushback against how this would actually be implemented in the future and if social media is really going in this direction.